The schedule is released. Plans, trips can be made. And of course, folks, we've had a couple days to digest it. But schedule game time. What's the Browns record going to be? Yeah, we don't know who the starting quarterback is. But we go through all four of them, 3-2 different ones. Who the hell knows? But this is the time of year where we can start to piece together the rookies from the draft, the free agent signings, a couple more that came in as well, put together a prediction to see what happens. And I got an old buddy who's going to join me now. Get back to the show.
Turn up your volume. Because you're about to listen to The Sick Podcast with Andy McNamara, the sickest Cleveland Browns podcast.
Chubb runs, he's to the 10, 15, he's to the 20, 25, 30, 35, 40, 45, 50. There goes Chubb, he's to the 30, 20, 10, 5, touchdown, Chubba Lubba Hub.
It's gonna be sick.
Welcome, everybody. Yes. The schedule is out. We're cooking. We're going. I'm Andy McNamara, and great to be back with you as we've digested the draft and looked at the schedule and the buys and try to piece it all together. So we will be playing the schedule game today, which means I want to know your Browns record for the 2025-2026 season. What do you got? Tell me why. Also on quarterback, day one, without seeing really any of the quarterbacks in action except for the odd highlight and low light from camp videos. Who do you want to start? Not who you think will. Who do you want to start week one for the Cleveland Browns when they're at home to the Cincinnati Bengals? Make sure you're clicking subscribe, follow to the channel, leave us a note there. Follow on X, on Twitter at SickPodBrowns, at AndyMC81, Instagram and TikTok too, at AndyMCSports. Let me know. So I want to know quarterback you want to start and your Browns prediction for the 2025 season. Not too much going on as far as notes from the team. This is a little bit the quiet time of year with rookie camp done, right? Harold Fannin Jr. signed his rookie deal, so that's good. The Haslam sent a note that they're to the county that they're moving forward with the Brook Park Project Stadium no matter what, which we kind of anticipated. It's nothing too crazy. A couple safeties signed, so we'll get into that. But I did this game with this gentleman last year. We were optimistic a year ago. Didn't quite work out. Turned into the second overall pick and 3 wins. But I bring back from WKYC Sports, Dave DeNatale. We're running it back, buddy.
Schedule game.
Woo! Let's go. Browns against the world. Let's go. Come on. You know what's funny, Dino? I got this shirt the Baker Mayfield year when they beat Pittsburgh, right?
Oh,
in the playoffs. But it didn't arrive until after the Kansas City loss.
Oh.
So it arrived in the mail late. So I got this. I'm like, and then the playoffs are over.
The world finally beat the Browns.
The world seems to always beat the Browns and us as fans. Beats us down, beats us up, but we keep going. We keep chugging along. Just your thoughts on the couple of safeties that the Browns signed, because coming out of the draft, one of the notes that me and you spoke about and I've spoken about is you kind of need more safeties. You only had Grant Delpit and Ronnie Hickman. So they signed a Steelers vet, another guy. Like, is this just kind of your, because of the everlasting Deshaun Watson salary cap hell, that these are hopefully functional professional safeties that can rotate in and out?
Yeah, and fill a certain role. One guy can help out on pass coverage and nickel and dime packages, and maybe one can help against the run, be an extra defender. So DeMonte Casey and Rayshon Jenkins are your two new safeties. And keep in mind that, the Browns, they have tried to bring in a free safety. Remember, John Johnson III, we thought, well, he's going to be the guy, to solve the long-term problem. And then our guy from Kansas City, and, it's just, at some point you just not, we are not meant to have a productive free safety to go next to Grant Delpit. But here, what you're hoping is that, again, these guys, and I know like Jenkins in particular, has had a history in his background of being able to force turnovers or get interceptions, and
need that
have to do that they've not done in last year, at least they didn't do last year, was create turnovers. They've got to be able to do that this year.
Right. And one of them, I believe, led the NFL in interceptions in like 2018, right? Was that Jenkins?
I believe so. Yeah.
Yeah. So that's, a few years ago, but this Browns defense desperately needs turnovers. So maybe this will be the case. The best nickname I heard this week for Juan Thornhill, who's now
Juan Thornhill. That was the name I couldn't remember. Yeah, Thornhill.
What was Jog Thornhill? Because we saw.
I can remember having conversations with the late great Jim Donovan. It's like finally Juan Thornhill. Kansas City had just won the Super Bowl, and they brought him in. And it's like somebody on this defense that's going to bring experience and a championship mentality. And I got to tell you, as disappointing as Johnson was, Thornhill was worse.
He was. Yeah, that was supposed to be better. And at least Johnson, by all accounts, tried on every play. And Thornhill apologized for it. But look, man, you're a pro. And then he goes to Pittsburgh. He tries to talk some trash. It's like, bro, finish your tackles. Try to keep up. I hope we see when they play a nice Joe Flacco over the top to Jerry Jeudy and makes Thornhill tap out.
Yes. Where Thornhill goes, well, with me.
Who? Yeah, the miscommunication, pointing at each other. This guy, God, the safety position at least has bodies now. We'll see if it's any better than a Juan Thornhill or a John Johnson. So that's sort of the roster update stuff there, and we kind of click along with that. The stadium side, no surprise there with the Haslams moving forward. They bought the land. You figured that was going to happen.
Yeah, and the thing is, the Haslams have put this together with the idea that $600 million for the project would come from the county and the city of Brook Park, again in bonds that could be paid back through revenues and such, and then $600 million in state funds from state-backed bonds from the Ohio House and Senate and Governor DeWine. But now the Browns are saying, look, we don't need you, county, to make it happen. We can at least put shovels in the ground if we get the $600 million in this state budget. We'll know, 6 weeks from now or so, if that's going to be the case. This has got to be done by June 30th. That's when the budget has to be approved and then signed by Governor DeWine. And, earlier this week, Commissioner Roger Goodell went to Columbus, met with DeWine and leaders of the House and Senate and the Haslam Sports Group. And all indications from that was that it was a productive and good meeting. Goodell seemed to think so anyway. And I think the letter being sent yesterday, 2 days after the meeting, is an indicator that the Browns feel like, okay, listen, we heard what we needed to hear from Columbus. We're telling you right now, Cuyahoga County, this thing we think is a done deal. So you can either get with us or we're going to go without you. That was kind of the gist I got from yesterday.
Interesting. Now, what if by chance it doesn't get signed off? They change their mind.
If the budget doesn't, this is the thing. If the budget doesn't pass, Jimmy Haslam said in March at the owners' meetings, at the annual meeting, then they would shift to Plan B, and that's renovating the current stadium because the lease expires. There's a ticking clock here, Andy. The lease that's currently out there for Huntington Bank Field is expiring after the 2028 season. So the thought is if the Browns can get shovels in the ground in Brook Park sometime next year with the money they would get from the state and what they were hoping to get from the county, then they can be in a new stadium in 2029.
Right.
But if that doesn't happen, then they've got to go back and look at what they want to do with the current stadium, which the Browns have no appetite right now to remodel that stadium.
Boy, yeah, that would be ugly. Okay, that's one storyline to follow. The other one, of course, is schedule game. Dino,
yes!
You ready?
I am ready.
Let's go. Oh, by the way, as soon as the schedule came out, it was on my birthday, and I got week 3 tickets to see the Green Bay Packers in town. So I'm coming to town week 3.
Excellent.
See you, Matt. See Grant. See buddies at Johnny's Little Bar. See the whole crew down there. So we'll make plans and make it happen.
Yes, we'll definitely get together. That'd be great.
I'm looking forward to it. So that's gonna be week 3, but we have to start at week number 1 against the Cincinnati Bengals. You see it right there. And, at first we look at it, it's like, Bengals are good. You got Chase, Higgins. But the last 3 years, the Bengals have started winless, either 0-2 or 0-3. So on paper, this seems to be the best time to get them, especially currently when they have their top pass rusher, one of the best in the league, Trey Hendrickson, not happy and saying, hey, man, I'm not coming unless I get a new contract. So potentially this could be a sweet matchup.
Yeah, there could be some training camp turmoil with that, because I don't know if it's going to get resolved. It's very difficult dealing with Mike Brown and the Bengal front office. I mean, it's finally, they're getting something done with Chase and Higgins, as you said. But I look at week 1. I assume, and of course, I assume the Browns were going to be a winning team last year. I assume that Joe Flacco probably is your starter for this game. It wouldn't surprise me. Honestly, I may pick this one as a win. I think the Browns might come out of the chute. I'm going to be optimistic here.
Okay.
And beat the Bengals on opening day at the stadium and give everybody a little bit of a charge.
I like that. And so I as well think Flacco will start. It's not. It's also what I think and what I hope. Is that the quarterback you would want, Joe Flacco, like you, Dino?
Yeah, because he's the one who has the most familiarity with this offense.
Yeah.
So I think while I don't expect him to start many games, because I really do think they want to look at the rookies and also they want to see what they've got in Kenny Pickett. But if they can figure out a way to have all 4 stay on the roster, that's a whole nother issue. But I think Flacco. I hope it's Flacco, and I think there may be, for that one day, a little turn back the clock to 2 years ago.
Yeah, have some fun
and a fun little moment. I can see that.
Fans are going to go crazy for it. I'm down with that as well. I'm putting it down as a Browns win. 1-0, we start feeling good. Then we go to Baltimore against the Ravens, which is difficult, but the Browns have won there. It's Lamar. You got Schlesinger, the new linebacker rookie, will be in week 2, and he's kind of tasked with that JOK job of being like keeping an eye on Lamar and all that stuff.
Yes.
This is a tough start to the season, the first 4 weeks against the Ravens. What are you feeling here, Dino?
Yeah, I mean, I would even argue that the first 6 weeks of the season, we'll get to the London game. You're throwing in the London game in there too. I think the Browns are going to struggle this year still, even with Mason Graham against the run. They still have some work to do to solidify that front 7. And I think Derrick Henry is going to have a big day against the Browns defense. And I think that's also might be when Flacco comes back to earth a little bit too against that Baltimore defense. So I look for the Ravens to win week 2 pretty decisively.
Yeah, I'm hoping if it is Flacco, he goes back and sticks it to the Raptors, his old team. But
it'd be amazing, right? That'd be a great homecoming win.
Be a great story. But, we're coming off a 3-win season. I'm with you. We have to be a little realistic, right?
Yeah.
I was thinking W, but I'm going to go with you. We're going to go L. Week 3 Packers. I'm going to be there, so I'm saying win. I'm putting that right out there. I don't care what the Packers are doing. I'm going W. Damn it, Dino, I want to win. I've been going down with my dad since 2007. And I've got a total of 5 wins that I've seen in person. 5.
So you're
2007.
So it's like 5-14 or 5-12, something like that. Oh my goodness!
That, which is about a Browns.
Right. That's preview. That's about what I'm going to have here. I think for this this whole season. I want them to win for the Andy Mack game.
Come on,
but I think it'll be a tight ball game. I think the Packers win in a close one.
I wouldn't be surprised. It's you know what, they're not unbeatable though. Like Jordan Love has been inconsistent.
No,
like you got.
I think they're a good team. I don't think they're. I don't think they're by any means unbeatable. I think it's going to be a competitive game throughout.
Yeah. It's tough, but I think doable if the Browns are clicking on the quarterback side and all other aspects of the ball. We go into Detroit against the Lions, and interestingly enough, Tony Grossi had reported from ESPN Cleveland that this has been a place where the Browns in their history, going back to Paul Brown, only have 1 win. They are 1-10 in their history, going back to the Paul Brown era in Detroit. I think it's unfortunately going to be 1-11 against a real tough Lions team.
Yeah, I think the Lions are just that. They're one of those teams in that next echelon. That like the Ravens, it's just going to be awfully hard for the Browns to go on the road and against a very tough defense and beat the Lions. So I look for a Detroit win and the Browns 1-3 after 4 weeks.
Oh, I got them at 2-2. If we can be 2-2 out of the 4,
that's amazing. I won't say I would turn cartwheels because I've got a bad knee, but I would be awfully happy if they emerge 2-2 to start the season.
Next is the London game against the Vikings. And at first, I thought, the Vikings, that's tough. And still might be. But they're putting all their eggs in the J.J. McCarthy basket. And I got to tell you, when he was drafted, I coined him Mac Jones with a better haircut. I'm not a believer in J.J. McCarthy at all. Is that partly my anti-Michigan bias? Perhaps. But, I'm not buying J.J. McCarthy. It's London. Wacky things happen there. It's clear it's not a proper home or away game. It counts as a home game for the Browns. Damn it, I think they're coming out of London with a dub. I'm not scared of J.J. McCarthy.
No, number one, I'm not scared of J.J. McCarthy. Number two, the Vikings have, because of the quirk of the schedule, they're going to already be overseas the week before.
Yeah.
I think that's the Ireland game with Pittsburgh.
Yeah, I think it's in Dublin. Yeah.
Yeah. So they're already going to be in Europe. And at some point you're like, okay, I'm just ready to get on the plane and go home.
Yeah.
And I'm going to use the Andy logic. I am planning on being in London for that game.
Nice.
So let's go with the win. Browns upset the Vikings.
I like it. Oh, that'd be a great trip. Oh, yes. Boy.
I love London. I've been to London twice. And I love London. So yeah, we've already got airline. We've got the airline flights locked in. We haven't bought them yet, but we've got it locked in. And I guess tickets go on sale just for the audience here. Tickets for that game are going on sale, I think, on May 29th. So if you do, because you got to buy them through the NFL. So make your plans accordingly if you want to go.
Right. Interesting. Okay. So we're winning it for Dino in London. Then we go to Pittsburgh against the Steelers. We know, unfortunately, what happens there. Yes. Will it be Aaron Rodgers at quarterback? I would think it has to be Dino because they have done nothing at QB, and they break my heart taking Will Howard, he was my draft day movie, Will Howard, no matter what. And of course, I knew the Steelers would take him. I knew it.
Well,
I knew they would.
And Jack Sawyer.
Sawyer. Oh, the two heart and soul guys they take.
I know. Oh. I know. And I look for both of those guys at some point to be key members of the Steelers.
Sawyer's such he's not necessarily the most analytically tested, gifted guy, but that guy just gets it done.
He just gets it done. And you know what? TJ Watt takes him under his wing. Look out.
Yeah.
I like Pittsburgh at the big ketchup bottle. I don't care what they call it. It's still Heinz Field to me.
Yeah. Well, and it'll be also, and I haven't heard this talked about much, it'll also be an interesting comparison because the Browns, of course, took Mason Graham with that 5th pick after the Jacksonville trade. The Steelers in the first round took Derek Harmon, who is widely considered the second best defensive tackle. And it kind of reminds me, Dino, of that Myles Garrett, TJ Watt draft. Remember, Browns first overall, Myles Garrett, Steelers came, I think, second round and took TJ Watt. So we'll have to see if we can glean any comparison between those two and how they're doing.
Absolutely.
That'll be interesting. Then we come back home to the Dolphins. I don't know what to make it, heads or tails of the Dolphins, man. They just seem like they're kind of in a mediocre purgatory. Beat us last year. So did everybody else. That doesn't bother me. Week 7 at home. I think coming off a loss in Pittsburgh, the Browns get a little motivation and they beat the fish.
And if they do, that'll be for me their 3rd win, and I think it is going to be a win. I mean, that's not bad. The Browns would be 3-4 by my count at that point. I've got them winning over Miami too. Miami's kind of they're good for about 7 wins, maybe.
Yeah, and is Tua around?
Yeah.
Is he healthy?
I like the Browns in that game.
Me too. I have the Browns at 4-3. You got them at 3 or 4. Week 8, just before the bye, we head to New England, a place the Browns haven't won since 1992. And Mike Vrabel is the head coach. Drake May quarterback. We know they're going to be well coached. Patriots, Dino, if I'm looking at the Vegas sports book, I believe their number was 5.5 wins. I put a couple bucks down on the over. I don't know if they're going to make the playoffs, but I can see Vrabel getting them 8-9 wins.
Yeah, because I think they have some pieces. They've got some players there.
Yeah.
So I would agree. The Browns never win in Foxborough. They won't win this time around. I think New England is going to be. They'll be one of those teams that I think you're talking about. In week 16 and 17 in the hunt. Just kind of on that outside fringe.
Yeah, and I really like Drake May as well.
I do too.
I still don't think they have enough weapons for him.
No.
Can't do
but
it
they're
all
getting close. They're getting closer. I'd feel pretty good if I were a Patriot fan.
Yeah, they're building up. Then we have the bye week right smack dab in the middle of the year. You recharge. You come out. You play the Jets, the Browns, 2-0 against Justin Fields, if he's even still the quarterback for the Jets. I'm still baffled. And I love Justin Fields from his Ohio State days, but I'm still baffled how they're like, yeah, that's our answer. Oh, okay. New York.
No problem.
Yeah, you got pieces, you got some defense, but in New York, again, I think this is a game the Browns can win. Myles Garrett has eaten Justin Fields for lunch, and if Mason Graham lives up to the hype, he might be putting his bib on too.
This might be the only road win the Browns get all year, but I'm gonna take it. Browns beat the Jets.
Coming off the bye, plus you get that extra prep, right? So
yeah.
Coming off the bye, we get the dub. So now we're 1. Dino has them at 4 wins. I have them at 5. So we're still, we're still competitive. Then it's at home to the Ravens. And the Browns seem to beat the Ravens once a year somewhere.
Yes.
So, damn it. Now, here's the thing. Week 11. What quarterback are we seeing? Is it still Flacco? Is it Pickett? Is it Gabriel? Is it Sanders? Somebody else?
I think at this point, I think it's Shedeur Sanders.
I'm so curious to see if, and best case scenario, Flacco turns back the clock and we're cruising and it's all right,
that
baby.
Would be lovely. But
if they do turn to a rookie, and does Kenny Pickett get bumped over? Or does he, if even all 4 are here? Dylan Gabriel was the higher draft pick,
He was.
Go Sanders?
As the aforementioned Tony Grossi kept pointing out during rookie minicamp, he was the one. He was getting the snaps first, in 7-on-7 before Sanders. Let's get to the Pickett question first. I look because it's a numbers game. If Flacco is your starter, then you have Pickett and you have 2 rookies. Well, you don't want to put one of your 2 rookies on the practice squad because that means some other team can go and snatch them up. So you don't want to do that, right? I don't think you want to give up your 3rd or your 5th round pick. So that would, to me, Kenny Pickett would be the odd man out. And then it's the flip flop though. If Flacco doesn't have a great camp or what have you, and Pickett impresses them, then it might be the other way around. Then you might have Kenny Pickett starting the season. And judging by your face, and I would agree, you might see the rookies in there a lot quicker.
I'm telling you this, man. If they cut Joe Flacco and you put Kenny Pickett week 1 at home and Kenny Pickett in his tiny baby hands runs out of that tunnel, look out.
Yes.
Look out, man. You will go from joy and Flacco fever to Kenny freaking Pickett. Then we might have to switch I might have to switch my whole schedule game.
Yeah, I was going to say now I want to reserve this. If Kenny Pickett is the week 1 starter,
we'll have a redo. Later in the summer.
We'll have a redo. But I'm operating as we look at this Ravens game in week 11. I'm operating on the point that Flacco was the starter, but at this point, the Browns looking at they've got 4 wins. You've got them at 5. They hope to they want to see what the rookies can do. So I think rookie one or two is going to start this Ravens game and going to have the problem. So that's why I have Baltimore winning, because at this point, because of whatever reason, the Browns are playing a different quarterback.
Gotcha. I'm going to say because they beat the Ravens usually once a year. I'm going to say W here. Maybe it comes in week 2. I just can't. I don't think Kevin Stefanski's ever started 2-0, so I'm not putting that out there. But I'm going to say you beat Baltimore once. So I have them. You have them 1-1 out of the bye. I got them cruising at 2-0.
Yeah.
Then we go to Las Vegas, and the Raiders stink, Dino. But we saw last year the Browns went there, and it was a horrible game.
Terrible game. It was a terrible game. And here's the other thing. It's the only long trip the Browns have, not counting, obviously, London.
Yeah.
But it's the only, West Coast trip the Browns have all season long. My concern is, number one, I think they're going to be beaten up after that Ravens game. Number two, I think Pete Carroll is going to make them a stronger team than they've been.
Yeah.
I'm not saying they're a playoff team. I am saying they're a better team. And I think the Browns, for a multitude of reasons, will struggle in Vegas and lose that game.
I'm with you on that. I think Pete Carroll and Geno Smith were brought in to stabilize, set a foundation.
Yes.
This isn't going to win you the Super Bowl, but this gets rid of the nonsense, stabilizes it. Then after a couple years, then you move up and you build offense. This is the building foundation for the Raiders. Next, lucky week 13, the 49ers come to town, a place they have struggled a lot. Apparently haven't won here since like Joe Montana in the 80s. But the 49ers are such a tricky team, Dino, because what are they right now? They traded off some pieces. They still have Brock Purdy. I'm not quite sure, but I feel that they do somehow at this point in the season, they're so well coached that they do get it figured out and they pick up a win.
I just think, from a number standpoint, they're a superior team. So give San Francisco the win, but it'll be kind of like that Packer game. I think it'll be competitive. Yeah. It'll be a not fun to lose, but it should be a fun, entertaining game.
Well, and I was going to say it could come down to a field goal. Boy, that's a conversation we haven't had. What the heck is our kicking game going to look like?
Ooh. Yeah, right? I have many concerns about that, and because this isn't necessarily going to be a contending team, I think it's probably not going to be in the discussion as much as quarterbacks and other things. But we've seen this so many times, Andy. When you're a team that's a fringe playoff team, sometimes the difference between getting over that hump and not is can your kicker get your extra points and your field goals from 50 yards and in? I mean, sometimes those longer ones, okay, fine.
Yeah. You live with
that. The ones from like 42 that get missed, I mean, you can't have that. And so I'm sure that's going to be something in training camp, though, that probably will. I mean, again, quarterbacks will be on everybody's minds, but let's keep an eye on the kicking game. I think that's a good thing a good point you bring up.
We definitely have to keep an eye on that. Could be a new guy. Who knows? Week 14 at home to the Titans. You got Cam Ward. Could be rookie versus rookie quarterback at that point. Who knows?
I would think so. I would think so. The
Titans are still they are void of talent. I think this is a Browns win.
I think it's like a 13-10 or 16-10 type win. But the Browns find a way to gut out a win. That sounds like Butch Davis. Gut out a win against the Tennessee Tuxedos.
Kind of just a dud kind of game.
Yes, very much so.
Week 15, you go to Chicago. Bears intriguing. I'm not a Caleb Williams fan. I think he's going to be better. I picked when they came out. I said, look, Jane Daniels is going to be the better quarterback, and I was proven correct. I made a bet in Vegas on the Rookie of the Year, so that paid off. I was happy with that.
Very well. Good job.
But the Bears have put, to their credit, a lot of pieces around them. The offensive line was a problem. They solidified it. They upped the run game. So they've gotten better at week 15. I'm very much on the fence. I think this is a winnable game for the Browns.
Very much so.
How are you looking at it?
I think it's a winnable game, but I think the Bears are – hopefully this is where the Browns are next year, where you've identified the quarterback and you've put some pieces around him and you feel comfortable that you're going to take a step from being a not very good team to in that Patriots spot that we talked about.
Right.
And I think that's where I think the Browns want to get there, but they're not at that point yet. And the Bears, I think, are closer. So I think Chicago will have more to play for, and I think they beat the Browns in a close one.
I'm with you. I'm just getting that feeling that they just like one of those games. Maybe they have it at one point, then it just slips away. It's like
yes,
one of those ones. But certainly would not surprise me if it went the other way. Then we're at home to the Bills. Boy, Dino, man, Buffalo just cooks, and they're going to be going for the division title and seeding. And I just, unless there's major injury problems in Buffalo, maybe we get a snow globe game. It's late in the season.
I was going to say we saw that in 2007. Maybe we get a snow globe game.
Phil Dawson.
Yeah. That's the problem. We don't have Phil Dawson. Buffalo gets the win in this one.
Yeah. Unless we get a snow globe, Jameis Winston style miracle, we're going to give it to the Bills. Then it's Steelers, week 17, at home. This has become a tougher spot for the Steelers to win in the Kevin Stefanski era.
Yes.
And I think the Browns, this late in the season, rally one more time, do not get swept, and beat the Squealers, whoever their quarterback is at that point.
Yeah, I agree with you. I think if we've seen over the last few years, generally the Browns play very well at home against Pittsburgh. I think whichever rookie is playing at this point, Gabriel or Sanders, is going to be fighting to not just get wins, but prove to the coaching staff, hey, listen, you don't have to use one of these 2 first-round picks you're going to have on a quarterback. I can do this. So I think it's going to be one of those nights where just some things go and the ball bounces in your direction. You get a punt return or kick return or something that happens that you don't expect, and the Browns figure out how to beat the Steelers.
We get sent into the new year on a happy note. And remember too, folks, the Browns' recommitment to the running game, drafting 2 running backs, cannot be overlooked. That's where this Stefanski offense has been its best. I am wowed by Harold Fannin Jr. I think that 1-2 punch with David Njoku was not being talked about enough. So there are pieces, and there is a way. Let's beat those Squealers. And we finish off week 18 in Cincinnati. Are the Bengals going for the division? Are they going for a playoff spot? Browns won the opener. I just don't feel we get the bookend.
Yeah, I think this will be one where the Bengals are going to have something to play for, so they won't be resting. Their top guy. Burrow won't be taking a week off. Et cetera, et cetera. So I like Cincinnati to get the win to finish off the season.
Okay, so that means we got it here. So we got our official records for the Browns 2025. Dino, you have them at 6-11.
All right.
One more than you thought the 5. You talked yourself into one more.
Yes, I did.
And I got them at 8-9. So
Ooh.
If you can get, I think your 6-11 is very, very plausible. Even if you get 7-10, I just feel there's a mentality because we've had so many double-digit losing seasons. Mm-hmm. If you could somehow get that 8, then you're 5 wins better than last year. You're not a double-digit loser team. Mm-hmm. And you've, at that point, shown if you get to that point in the year, you've taken some steps, something has worked and gone right, and you have something to build off of going into the draft. And like you said, using those 2 first-round picks on, is it a quarterback? Is it using the 2 separately?
For your audience, watch Jacksonville. If they struggle, if they are, a struggling football team, and I think they certainly could be, that may be where, you could have the Browns, if they're 6-11, they'll probably be, that pick will probably be a top 10 pick.
Yeah, like maybe 10.
I think Jacksonville will probably be in that 5 through 10 range again. Mm-hmm. So you've got some ammunition then, if you want to move up in the draft. You certainly could do that. Or you might, if Andy's right and the Browns are 8-9 and on the border of being a playoff contender, which, again, if you're at 6 wins, you're not that far away.
Right.
Then maybe the quarterback issue, temporarily anyway, is straightened out to the point where, okay, we don't have to use a quarterback. We can get the best offensive lineman and the best wide receiver in the 2026 draft and run it back. And now all of a sudden, we're doing exactly what you're talking about with the Bears and Caleb Williams. We're surrounding him with key pieces to take us to the next level.
Right.
So that might be so. If folks are watching this and saying, "Oh man, these guys think they're only going to win 6 or 8 games," it's not the end of the world. That's understanding what's ahead of the Browns after this season.
Right. And a lot of it too, Dino, I think, is how have they progressed throughout the year?
Yes.
How do you look? Have you gotten better? Have you developed players? What is Cedric Tillman in this year coming off of those concussions, who I think still has a ton of upside? How did Mason Graham improve? The tight ends, the running backs, and of course, like you said, the rookie quarterbacks. Do we have any sort of definite, has anybody grabbed the job?
Right.
To at least say, like you said, like, I kind of want one more year. Or is it that in between? It's like, we got to go get a guy, and then we'll have just a real schmoz on the quarterback. I don't know what you have then.
Right. You already have a full room now. I mean, I'm sitting in a conference room, and I'm like, imagine right now there'd be 4 quarterbacks in here in this room. It's like, man, you had another guy into the mix. I mean, but I at least understand. I didn't, you and I talked on the first night of the draft, and I didn't understand, and I didn't agree with the Browns trading down because to me, it's they're trying to have it both ways. It's like you're trying to still compete, but yet you're also giving us the indication you're stockpiling for the future. So you're kind of doing both things, which is a little odd to me, but we are where we are. So I think this is what, you and I are laying out for people, is what we're certainly hoping for, that you see some progress into this season to the point where when we're doing this show next year and there are, more young, talented players coming aboard here, you're hoping that, at this point you've kind of wiped out everything from Deshaun Watson and, okay, we had to take 2 steps back, but now we're ready to take 2 steps forward.
Right.
That's the hope anyway.
That's what you want, and that's what you have to see. And the quarterback battle is going to be fascinating. Along with the kickers and the running back. But as I want Nick Chubb back in some capacity. Dino, I doesn't look. Andrew Berry said as much. Doesn't look like it's going to happen. But if we can put that emotion aside for a second, boy, that looking in rookie minicamp, Quinshon Judkins and Dylan Sampson. Holy cow!
I understand what they're trying to do. They're trying to get a younger version of Chubb and Hunt that they had. 5 years ago or whatever.
Yeah.
And I think, and I still think Jerome Ford can serve a role for the team as well. But yeah, you're right. For what the Browns are going to have to do offensively this year. Yeah. I mean, I'd like to see better wide receivers, but 2 tight ends, 2 running backs. That's going to have to be where a lot of this is going to have to come from this year for the Browns.
Yeah. The Harold Fannin Jr. again. I'm just so bullish on him. Just so bullish. And we know it's like, tight ends, tough to break in. Not if you're used more as a receiver, right? Like it doesn't necessarily have to be that much of a learning curve. So it's going to be, it's a long road. And Dino, let's promise if they name Kenny Pickett the starter, we'll do another schedule game. Okay.
I will be back if Kenny Pickett's the starter, you call me back and we will look at the schedule all over again.
Please, no, give me Flacco when I go down week 3, please. Don't make me cheer for Kenny Pickett. Oh, my God. Dino, tell people where they can find you, read your great work.
Yeah, you can find me on Twitter at Dino Cleveland on X. And then you can also check out WKYC.com. I've got a column up right now about the Cavaliers and, kind of their early playoff disappointment and, what I see when I look at that roster. So, I'll write some columns from time to time, and certainly this summer and into Brown season as we watch how things develop.
Awesome, buddy. Well, always a pleasure, Dino. Thank you so much. We'll talk to you soon.
Thank you, Andy. Hey, happy birthday, brother.
Thank you, buddy. Thank you. Appreciate it. There he goes. Dave DeNatale, Dino from WKYC Sports in Cleveland. So his record, again, Dino's record prediction, 6-11. I have the Browns at 8-9. What do you think their record is going to be? I want to know. Tell me what it is and why. Okay? Any particular reason? Let me know. Hit us up in the comments. Click subscribe. Follow along. Send the link to people. More people. I love when y'all jump into the chat. It's a great time. I love interacting with all you guys. So let me know. Also on X on Twitter, hit me up there with the schedule game too. What's your record? At AndyMC81, at SickPodBrowns, Instagram too. We'll post it up there. Link in bio at AndyMC Sports, and TikTok at AndyMC Sports as well. If you're looking for any fantasy football gear, any Browns gear, make sure you are looking at my pinned tweet at AndyMC81. We got the link right there to some show gear, lots of fun stuff there, as well as some fantasy football trophy stuff. So check all that out. Thank you so much to Dave DeNatale from WKYC, to producer Shane. I'm Andy McNamara, and as always, folks, go Browns!
And that's a wrap. Hope you don't miss us too much until next time. Follow the Sick Podcast with Andy McNamara on YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, Google Play, and Apple Podcasts.